Guys, we're going to pick up where we left off from yesterday or last class's notes. So again, this is lesson number 4 in our note packet, and I'm on the second page. Now, last class, we started to look and we distributed through with these. Okay, so again, you're going to multiply your coefficients. Okay, and then we always add our exponents. So there's an imaginary 1 there, so I get y to the third. That gives me a negative 56 when I multiply 7 and negative 8, y squared. And 7y times a negative 3 gets me negative 21. Let's go through again. We're going to distribute through. So I get 3 x to the 7th y, and then I'm going to distribute again to this. Multiply your coefficients, so I'm going to get a negative 6. Now this one doesn't have an x, so I'm just going to carry over those 4 x's from here, and then I have 2 y's, and when I multiply this by 1, that still gets me 3x to the 4th y. Alright, we'll do one more example. So this is a positive 6x to the third, positive 2x squared. Careful of those negatives. And last one, negative 2x plus negative 2x. There you go. All right, why don't you pause the video and do 8, 9, and 10, and then play it again and see how you do. Not too bad with that one. Now this one here, we have 2 sets of the distributive property. So this would get me 8x squared minus 12. Now be careful, you're distributing a negative 3 with this one. So this gets you a negative 15 plus 21x squared. Now in this case, I am able to combine some like terms. I got an 8x and a 21x. But then I also have these here. So when I combine 8 plus 21, that's going to get me 29x squared. And negative 12 minus 15 gets me a negative 27. Again, take the signs in front. So then this would be my final answer. So this one here, I'm going to bring down the 2w because I haven't done anything with it. Distribute the 4. So that gets me 12w. Minus 24y. Then I'm going to simplify. Now be careful with this one. We have I'm going to simplify with using my power rule. So this little 2 needs to get applied to that first. So really, I still have that negative 2, but I'm multiplying this by actually a 9y squared. That's my power rule that we learned last class. So be careful with that one. Okay. So when I go to simplify this, I'm actually going to combine my w's here. So that's 14w minus 24y minus 18y squared. That's a tough one. Okay. All right, now we're going to talk about a monomial times a polynomial. So this is going to involve the distributive property a little bit more. So the first step is we are going to use our distributive property. And again, like we saw in some of the examples, you might have to use your distributive property more than once. And then remember to follow our order of operations, or some of you guys like to say your PEMDAS. Okay. All right. Let's distribute through. So I get 8x squared minus 12. Distribute through here. I get a positive 6x squared plus 15. Now always look and say, okay, can I combine my like terms? Well, I got 8x's and 6x's. So that gets me 14x squared. And I got a negative 12 plus 15. That gets me a positive 3. Okay? Now in this case, this one here, I'm actually going to distribute the negative 2y because that is what is directly in front of the parentheses. So I'm going to bring down that 8y. And I get a negative 14y plus 6y squared. And I'm going to bring down that 5. So I'm going to put in standard form. I'm going to put the 6y squared first. Then I can combine this here. Those are like terms. So 8 minus 14 gets me a negative 6y. And then I'm going to bring down that 5. So there's my trinomial. All right, why don't you pause the video, go ahead and do 3 and 4 by yourself, and then play it and see how you did. All right, so here we're distributing a fraction. Again, don't be scared, use your calculator, okay? So 1/3 times 3 actually just gets me a 1. So this is really 1x to the third. 1/3 times a negative 15 gets me a negative 5x squared. You add your exponents. And my last term, plus 9x. I have no like terms with that one. That would end there. All right, this one here, pretty long one. This one here, we're distributing, there's an imaginary negative 1. So I would get negative x squared plus 2x minus 4. Distribute that negative 3, so it gets me a negative 6x squared minus 12x plus 3. I'm not really distributing anything because it's a positive 1, so that doesn't change the values at all. So this really becomes plus 2 minus 3x. Now I'm going to look for my like terms. So I have a negative x squared and a negative 6. So negative 1 minus 6 gets me a negative 7x squared. I have 2 minus 12 minus 3. So 2 minus 12 minus 3, you should get a negative 13x. Then I got a negative 4 plus 3 plus 2. And again, I hope you're paying attention. I'm taking the sign in front. So negative 4 plus 3 plus 2 should give me a positive 1. And that's what you should have for that one. Alrighty. Alright, last page. Some harder questions here. Just kind of spice it up a little bit. So, part A, number 5. Find the difference of those two polynomials. Alright. So I'm going to set up, I'm going to do the vertical method here. So minus 4x squared minus 3x minus 5. So when I subtract those, you should get negative 3x squared plus 1x plus 6. Okay? Part B says, now multiply that result from part A by negative 2x squared. So it wants to take the negative 2x squared and multiply my answer from part A. Well, that looks like what we were just working with, our distributive property. So I get 6x to the 4th minus 2x to the third minus 12x squared. So that is my final answer. All right, number 6. Represent the area of the rectangle in simplest form. If the width of the rectangle is 2x and the length is 3x squared minus 8x. So the word you got to watch out for here is area. You got to know what area means. Well, I know in a rectangle, area is equal to the length times the width. Well, they gave us what the width and the length is. They said that the length is 3x squared minus 8x. And then they told us that the width is 2x. Well, I'm going to set it up. Looks like I'm going to actually set it up this way because it means the same thing. And it looks like something we've already been doing. So when I multiply these through, 6x to the third minus 16x squared. So that is the total area, written as a polynomial. All right, why don't you try number 7 by yourself? Pause the video, see if you can do it out, and then check your answer. So again, there's that word. So area is equal to my length times my width. Okay? So it looks like I got 2x squared. I'm going to multiply it. Okay? Again, which is the same thing. You could say width times length. Okay? 3 times 2 is the same thing as 2 times 3. Distribute through. So I get 2x to the third minus 6x squared y. And that would be my final answer. So those are the rest of your notes for today. So make sure you have those completed and then head over to Google Classroom to get your classwork for today. Have a good day, guys.